e-commerce. It's down on the totem pole at this point. I can definitely like keep selling stuff on other platforms or on Amazon, but I'm much more bearish on e-commerce right now. That's for sure. The guy made $159,000 profit last month. I think he made like 85 the month before.
You either own a brand or you are the brand. I don't know what else is making people millions of dollars.
I guess you just have to be willing to pivot. And that's just the natural progression of entrepreneurship and business.
There's things that you can do to raise the risk versus reward. So at least if you're seeing that the Amazon business model is changing, you need to make changes to make it a higher risk versus reward for you.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Side Hustle Experiment Podcast. Today we got Checkmate Flips. He's done millions of dollars on Amazon and recently got his account suspended. So we're going to get into that, what happened, whether he's going to sell on Amazon again or not, kind of what he's thinking about, different options. We talked a lot about it on Instagram, so we're just going to kind of air it out on here as well. So thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. I think this is going to be a good conversation. Always love talking to you guys.
Yeah, you're the gift that keeps on giving, dude. You always show up. You always get good views. You always want to talk for a long time. We like it. So tell us this story, though, the situation on the suspension. Let's start there.
Yeah, so for background, I've been doing eBay to Amazon, the dreaded no invoice business model that is a little bit shaky sometimes. For the last, I've been doing it for 3 years. So since the end of 2021, is that like 4 years? Goodness. Yeah, so I've been doing that business model. I've been doing all new items for the last 2 years. So I had been doing around probably 90 to 130K in sales for the last quite a while, a month. And this year I got a couple like customer counterfeit claims or IP claims. I think 2 or 3 of them happened like at the beginning of this quarter. Amazon gave me acknowledge buttons. For those who don't know, you can acknowledge the claim and it'll drop off most of the time. So I got a couple of those and wasn't really thinking too much of it. All of a sudden in May, though, I got 1 claim. And then within the span of 3 weeks, I got 4 customer counterfeit claims and then later an IP claim. So I got those claims. They didn't give me acknowledge buttons. And that if you get the same type of claim over and over again, for those who don't know, like the account health rating score, like the first time you get a claim, it'll be like 8 points off your score. And then it'll go to like 64 pretty quick. So that tanks the score pretty quick and ended up getting suspended.
What was your initial thought when you got suspended? Were you freaking out or?
Yeah, and so like through the month of May, I saw like 1 claim coming and I'm like, okay, like this is a problem, but I don't think like I'm going to keep getting claims. And then I got another one and my account went into the yellow and I was like, okay, this is a problem. So tried to like raise the amount of units that I was selling, tried to get them removed. Nothing was really working. So I feel like it was like a gradual process over like a month of like, oh, I'm a little concerned. Oh, I'm a bit more concerned. I'm pretty concerned. Okay, let's stop buying inventory. Like, okay, let's try to sell through stuff. Oh, shoot, I'm suspended over like the course of like a month and a half. So like even before the actual suspension, they sent me an email saying in 72 hours, we're going to shut your account down if you don't deal with the claims, basically. And I've received emails like that before. Oftentimes Amazon's a lot of talk and no actual follow through. So even then I was like, I think it's a 50-50 shot. Like this is really bad, but I don't think it's going to happen. And then it actually happened. And I think by then I was like pretty emotionally frustrated anyways. I'm just like, whatever, going to do what I can to get it back and see what we do from here.
Is there any recourse? Like, do you think you'll get it back or is it no shot?
There's always a shot. Like I've worked with a law firm, like we're still like in process with it. waiting on Amazon to respond on a few of the claims. Like we've resubmitted them. So like there's a chance, and like a friend of mine who had a very similar situation got his account back, and he literally used the same firm and they probably used the same like setup for everything. Um, so it's possible, maybe a 20% shot that I get it back. I don't really know.
I'm probably going to steal this question from you, John, because I can just see you asking this, but I'm sure you're curious. Now, what do you think going forward? Let's say you do get it back. The reason I asked this, we had someone on the podcast early on. I'm not going to say who it was. They got suspended or they lost a bunch of inventory, and then they were like, yeah, just double down in the future to try to make even more. And I was like,
What?
that seems like insane, but whatever. Some people just have a high risk tolerance. But I know you're a bright guy, so what do you think in the future? Are you going to double down, or what are your thoughts going forward?
Yeah, and I don't want to put any shade on that person. I don't remember who it is either, but um, my perspective right now is like eBay, Amazon, and the business has been really really good, and I've been paying myself a lot. It's been profitable. Like life is changed financially. Like I'm not like this like multimillionaire or anything, but um, yeah, I'm kind of just like okay, e-commerce. It's down on the totem pole at this point. Um, I can definitely like keep selling stuff on other platforms or on Amazon, but yeah, I'm much more bearish on e-commerce right now. That's for sure.
What's in the future? What's on your horizon? Because I think last time what you were doing something with flipping these smaller auction type houses or whatever. You still doing that or anything else?
Yeah, I got a property in Ohio, bought it, ended up selling it in about 2 weeks. Made around 9,000 profit, so was pretty happy with that. Like on paper, it was good. It was a ton of effort. Discovered I don't like real estate. It's just like it's so glamorized, and like there's all this paperwork, talking to people. Like at least on Amazon, you don't have to talk to people to like sell something most of the time, but there's still like a lot of moving parts. With real estate, there's like forms to sign, there's legal compliance, like you have to talk to a bunch of people, real estate agent. I don't know how to do the whole process. It's profitable for sure. It's just I'm not into it. Um, Probably kind of in a similar line to you, Drew. I'm actively day trading options, and I'm also selling options. Like basically, it's you can sell cash secured puts and sell calls on options. So I've been doing that, and I've been liking that a lot.
Yeah, you have to get into that a little bit. Well, John, you got any questions, and we'll get into the option stuff some point in this pod.
Yeah, before we get into the option stuff, maybe go back. We'll go back to Amazon quick. You get
Yeah.
suspended. How much money and inventory do you have? I feel like you're in a very unique situation because we did talk about this on Instagram. Where like you were running all cash, you're merchant fulfilling everything, you had no debt. So like that's a big one. Most people have like a ton of credit card debt, and you were just like, thank God I didn't do the 0% APR. So go a
Same.
little bit more into that. How much did you have? Like, does Amazon have a bunch of your funds? Like, what's going on with that?
Yeah, so when I got suspended, like John was saying, I was all FBM, literally under $500 buy cost at FBA. So just like negligible, it doesn't matter. Um, my payout at the time was about 30,000, which is super small because like 3 weeks before it was like 55. So like I had made the choice once I went into the yellow of like I'm gonna only buy like the best high ROI products. Like I'm gonna pay myself a lot. Like we don't need to set a record month again. Like we're just gonna make things really smooth. No credit card bills. It's no fun like having to deal with a bunch of inventory. Like plenty of inventory at my prep center that like we're figuring out what to do with. We've listed a lot of it on Walmart. Gonna sell some of it to other Amazon sellers probably, and on eBay. Yeah, so I mean, really, we're only risking like 25,000 because by now it's 25,000 now that I've given returns to people for the last month. So
Do you
pretty,
think they're going to keep your money?
what's up?
You think they're going to keep your money?
Dude, I really don't know. It's like, it seems like a lot of people get their money back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope so.
That's insane they can do that.
I
Like
know.
imagine like you don't have a ton there, but imagine if you had like 300 grand there or something. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it's the platform where the stuff sells the most. So like either you don't know it's in the terms that they can do that, or you just sign your rights away in order to make the money.
Yeah,
It's
and I
just
hate the argument. A lot of people say this. I really hate this a ton on social media. Is like, well, you signed up for Amazon. They give you all these benefits, so it's just like part of it. It's like, dude, that is kind of crazy. That's like dystopian type talk of the monopoly on this selling stuff. Well, they can do whatever they want to you, and you should just be happy that happens. It's like that doesn't make it right at all. Maybe that's the case, but it just doesn't make it right at all. And I see so many people preaching that, and I'm like, dude, that is. I don't know. Maybe you think different. Maybe that is how it should be, but I feel like that is so wrong. It could ruin so many people. Like that, in no other case would people think that's okay. People hate that stuff in insurance. They hate that in the car sales, but all that stuff's bad. But for some reason, when Amazon does it, it's fine. We should be grateful. It's like Stockholm syndrome.
yeah. There's I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen this. There's a lot of just like ignoring the negative side of things. As the frog in the pot sits there for year after year after year, um, they have to have strategies for self deception.
Yeah,
Honestly,
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure. And a lot of those people don't give a shit because if they got suspended, they wouldn't care because they're making so much money selling bullshit to everyone else. So I think there's that too. And I do think that's kind of a cautionary tale. It's like, yeah, Amazon can do that. You play in their sandbox. And we all like realize that. But I feel now there's so many other sandboxes you can play in that are so much less risky that it makes Amazon basically look like a joke.
it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. Um, yeah, it like if you have an Amazon account and you're established and you have some kind of edge and you're high margin, I think it's still like a pretty good opportunity, especially like when you consider like trying to start something else from scratch. Like it's an all right, pretty good opportunity, I think, but it's it's a terrible sandbox to just like, yep, you're guilty until proven innocent, and we're also going to keep your money. Like I know it's in the terms, it's whatever. Like you choose to do that, if you want to sell on Amazon, but you really don't have leverage as a seller, So uh,
And one more point on this, I thought it funny the other day. Someone kind of made the reference. It's like, oh, if you wanted to start a McDonald's, it would cost you like $2 million. Like with Amazon, you could start with 2 grand, and like you're not even guaranteed to make money with McDonald's and this and that. It's like, bro, you own a McDonald's. It's like it's gonna be fine. Like with Amazon, it's like would you and we talked about this last podcast, we didn't even release it. It's like if you ran a McDonald's, you'd have a shitload of skills because that takes a lot. You have to learn a lot. But kind of with this, it's like we talk about this a lot too. It's like, what are you gonna do next, right? You can either go to eBay, you could go to Walmart. It's not super helpful. Like the skills you kind of amass with Amazon don't really correlate to like a 9 to 5, even if you want to go that route.
that was going to be my next question to you is have you, which you're not like completely out of it, you could get your account back and stuff, but have you ever thought of like now, I'm sure you are, especially because you're trading options. Have you thought about like, whoa, I don't have a ton of skills that I've developed in this business that are going to translate? Because I'm sure you looked at a lot of models, right? Like, why did you end up in options trading? And I'm sure it's a similar reason I ended up in crypto.
yeah. Well, you guys have talked about this too. Like with the whole Walmart platform, that it's kind of gonna just probably be a repeat of Amazon. So um, I feel pretty confident I could make like some pretty good money with Walmart. I would probably be making a good bit less than Amazon still, just because stuff sells slower. It's like because stuff sells slower, you need to source more, buy less quantity. You're still going to have a lot of BS to deal with, but like pretty good platform. Um, so I considered like I could like be very serious about that. Um, but it seems like it's just going to be a repeat at some point, probably like 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. I don't know. Yeah. So I think doing something like investing that's completely digital, no products, no returns, no customer service, all on uh, pen and paper of the computer, like very simple as far as like everything that's going on was super appealing to me. So um, I think that's part of the reason why I wanted to do that way.
Yeah, it's the same for me. I was just like, how can I make this as simple as possible to do the same type of thing without all the downsides? And we had someone on the last podcast that said the cool thing about trading is you're never going to be banned from trading. I mean, I guess you can get in trouble with the SEC, but that's unlikely. So you can't get banned off the platform. You know, your money is your PvP, and every time you make money, somebody loses money, and that's just the way it is. There's no other things going on there. Now, exchange could shut down, take your money, that random stuff, but that's like black swan event, so it's not likely.
Yeah. Did you have that trader on here last episode that hasn't been released yet?
It just today it got released.
Yeah.
Just today. Okay.
Which he's not like a big trader. He just trades meme coins like me on a different platform. So it's a lot different than what I do, but same general thing.
We also had Rick on. He was a former trader.
Yeah, Rick's talked about it a lot. But how's the options going? So explain this a little bit. If somebody doesn't understand options, explain that a little bit, and then you can talk about, you know, how you're doing with it.
Yeah, I'll just try to give a couple sentence summary of the things. So basically, very basic. I'm doing two types of options trading. One is pretty active. One is relatively passive. The active trading, I'm doing it in a Discord group with a really good trader, and he explains everything, gives the signals to get in and get out. He's on voice the whole time, tries to teach the best he can. It's been a good experience so far, but even just executing options and the psychology behind it and like actually sticking to the plan is a little tough. But I'm learning, and it's been slightly profitable so far. I'm just playing with a small amount of money to ensure that it's profitable. And then the passive, basically, I should explain options first. So basically, the reason people do options is it's literally an option to be exposed to what like 100 shares of something would do. So you can either buy an option and receive that right to 100 shares of something, or you can sell the right to 100 shares of something. And so selling shares of something is obviously going to be higher capital because it's 100 shares of something. So think of it, if you have 100 shares of Apple, that's like $22,000. So you get a return for doing that. That's a little bit more guaranteed. But when you're buying options, maybe you're purchasing an option to Apple for $300, but you get what basically 100 shares of that's going to do for $300. And now when you buy an option, you really have to be right, or else you're going to lose money. Or if you are correct, you're going to make money. If you're not correct, you're going to lose a lot of that $300 or whatever it is in the different situations. Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty quick summary. There's more that you can get into, obviously, but I literally had to like watch YouTube videos like 10 times over to even understand it, because it's not that hard, but it's like, if you don't think about it, it's hard.
Yeah, going long, going short, opening options, that stuff is like really difficult to grasp. If you put it in really basic terms, I don't know if it's the same with options. I did some option stuff when I was like in college, but like you're basically borrowing shares from someone and trying to make this profitable before you sell it back to them. You guys can look up basic videos, but I'm sure you explained it pretty good, but it's just really hard to grasp that whole concept. I'm curious though, on the options now, I might be misremembering this, but when you sell an option, you have unlimited downside, right? Like technically, or is it I know buying an option you can zero out, but what is the thing where you can go like really belly up fast? Like you can lose a lot of money.
Real quick, if you've been thinking about hiring a virtual assistant but don't know where to start, VA Fastlane makes the process dead simple. They just don't throw you a random VA. They actually line up 4 highly qualified candidates based on the skill level you need. Whether it's online arbitrage, wholesale, or whatever business model you're running, they got you covered. Then you interview the ones you like and pick the best fit. No guessing, no generic VAs who don't even know anything about Amazon. And it works whether you're just starting out or running a full-blown operation. They offer both part-time, 20 hours a week, and full-time, 40 hours a week.
Plus, they've already placed over 140 VAs for Amazon sellers, and they offer free unlimited replacements. So if someone isn't the right fit down the line, you're covered. It's run by Carter Maxwell. You've heard of him on the show, and he's built a team so dialed in, he only spends 4 to 5 hours a week on his own Amazon business. So if you're ready to scale with a VA who's trained, proven, and backed by a solid system, book a free call at the link below and talk to Carter. And make sure to ask about the special offer for the Side Hustle Experiment listeners.
Yeah, there's so technically when you open a sell put position, you can have an unlimited downside. So to explain what a put is, like we were talking about before, when you buy a call, you think that it's going to go up and you make money when it's going to go up. When you buy a put, you make money when it goes down. So if I'm selling a put, let's say I'm selling a put on Apple, current price is like 220, and I sell a 200 put. If I buy a 200, if I sell a 200 put and the stock goes to zero for some reason, I lose my entire investment because the stock is worth zero and I'm going to be forced to buy at 200. So that's basically what you're doing when you're selling a put. You say, I'm selling a put for 200. If the stock goes below that price, I'm going to be forced to buy at that price. And I also keep a premium regardless either way. So it's like if you sell a put on a really bad stock that ends up not being worth anything, you're going to lose your whole investment. But it's like, when does a stock go to zero? It happens for sure. Just you got to choose good stocks.
Do you think you'll stick with it long term? Yeah, because I know that stuff is so. I was just talking to John about this, the crypto thing. I think I'm actually taking a break from it as of today because I was up a lot of money, lost a lot, made a little more, and then I blew my portfolio like twice in a row. So I'm just like, I'm net positive at the end of the day, probably like $2,000. So I've wasted like 6 months of my life, but the conditions have became tougher. And I'm like, man, this is like affecting my life more. It's just making me anxious because I'm losing money, and then you start revenge trading, which is worse, and you get into a bigger hole. And I'm just like, I gotta wait until conditions are better, and I'll do this. But do you think you'll sustain it long time, or like, do you think that as of now?
Yeah, I think I will. I'm sorry to hear that though. Like that, it sucks. Like when stuff doesn't work. Like it's super emotional, intense, and like especially if like spending 6 months on it and then feeling like it's not working. That sucks.
Yeah, which I could keep going. It's not like I have a bunch of money left. It's not like I've zeroed out my whole net worth, but it's just right now I feel like, man, I don't think my chances of making money are as good as they are. Like, I'm more likely to just lose it. Like, I've lost my edge that I had before, which is just unfortunate. But another thing is the option stuff is more of a consistent edge once you get it, I believe. Crypto is more of a way more volatile all over the place. Options, you probably have somewhat of a strategy, right?
Yeah, I mean that's where the people lose the money and just gamble if they're just like they see a candle going up and they're like it's going to keep going up. They just have no strategy besides that. Um, yeah, you're supposed to trade with a strategy or an edge. Yeah.
Yeah. What you got, John?
So what platform are you trading on, and kind of what's your strategy, I guess?
Yeah, so I started with Robinhood, and I would suggest starting with Thinkorswim through Charles Schwab uh, next time. But I mean, Robinhood's okay. Um, and
Before you get into it, why would you do Charles Schwab over Robinhood?
yeah. So for the active trading, the first 15 minutes of the market, you can't do a market order on Robinhood. So basically, um, if there's a position you're trying to get into right at market open, you might not get into the position and completely miss a trade, which is extremely frustrating. Yeah, so that's happened a couple times.
Yeah, your strategy. I know you're following signals. What do you think is that? Has that worked well? Because I always was so skeptical of that stuff. But I guess with that type of thing, I mean, the proof is in like you can see the results right there. So how's that going? Or do you have a solo strategy that's apart from the signals?
I've heard that a lot of signal groups have been like pretty bad and like they don't give much help. They kind of just give the signal. Sometimes it's even like text signals like throughout a Discord, and so people will like see the alert 3 minutes later, and it's like that's not a valid. It's not a valid signal anymore. Like you needed to get in the position like the second it happened. So that's why a voice thing is much better. Um, this group, I'm pretty like I think it's a really good group. This trader takes all of his trades in the group. He uses a software that you can see exactly what he's traded and how much he's made. Um, the guy made $159,000 profit last month. I think he made like 85 the month before. Just very, very good trader. And he tries to teach the best he can as well. So it's been a good platform so far. And then the passive stuff, I've just been learning about it on YouTube, honestly.
Can you say who this is, or you don't want to say?
Yeah, it's Ace Trades on Instagram. Um, yeah, I mean, I could give you guys the link, but
Yeah, I was just wondering because I know some of those trading guys. I was wondering if it was one of those. TJR. You ever heard of him?
I've heard of his YouTube channel.
Yeah, he's like the biggest one I think right now. TJR trades. He's.
Uh-huh.
I don't think he does that. I think he does.
Wait. TJR Trades. I think I know. Here, I'm just gonna get on YouTube and see if it's the person I think it is.
Yeah, he's big.
Oh yeah. Oh, my music is going. Yeah, I've listened to a few TJR Trades videos, but I don't do tons with it. I've been trying to learn the liquidity sweeps that he talks about, but it's not my main
Yes,
strategy.
that stuff's more complicated. Whenever it's like the technical terms, it's completely out of my wheelhouse. But I somewhat understand what you've been talking about so far. I'm doing all right here. Uh,
Sorry.
Are they trading like lower cap? This might be super boring to people listening to. I apologize. This might suck. But is it lower cap stocks, or are you trading like Nvidia, Tesla, that type of stuff?
So this trader is very, very niched down into he specifically likes to trade QQQ,
Okay.
which QQQ is the top 100 tech stocks. It's basically the S&P 500 of tech stocks. So like he has basically 3 to 4 setups that he's back tested very extensively, been trading the same setups, same market conditions over and over again for the last several years. And they have really high hit rates. And so um, it's basically a debate of like, there's other good setups and you can take them and they're probably going to work. But what I'm trying to do this month is literally just take the top 3 setups and just ignore everything else. Like literally this month, I haven't even traded yet because one of those setups haven't come yet in the active trading. So, but then you can make a 20 to 60% return if and when you do the trade right when that happens. So,
What else you got, John? You probably have better questions on this because I don't know if you're aware of this stuff, but I'm a bit more aware. So maybe I'm just talking super boring to people.
Yeah, no. So when you mean a setup, do you mean like certain market conditions and then you deploy the capital, or kind of what does that mean?
yeah. So this Discord group, they follow. It's a strategy literally called the strat, which is kind of crazy that it's called that. But basically, it says that like the market can only do like a few things, and it kind of like boils it down to a few things, and then when it's just super hard to explain, but it's specific setups and market conditions like let's say, at the 7 a.m. 1 hour open, it's a 3 bar. And so a 3 bar means that the high and the low broke lows and highs of the last hour. And then the 8 a.m. is a 2 bar, which it went directional, either one way or the other. If there's a break on the 9 a.m. session that continues and like goes into a reversal, at that point, that could be an entry. It's hard to like basically explain it, but it's stuff like that. Hopefully, this is not too boring for everyone. So maybe we should talk.
It probably is. I don't even know that. I
I
find it
don't know. Maybe
interesting.
people probably like nerd out about it.
I find it interesting. So
Yeah, good. I don't know.
are you basically doing this all day, or are you just sitting in front of the computer, like looking at this stuff and trying to figure it out, or like how does that work?
These days, usually we do a trade or don't do a trade within an hour or two of the market open. So I'll often be on the call, like the live call, for like an hour or two. And then maybe a little while after that, I'm working on um, basically finding positions to sell puts on. The selling puts part has been a much higher hit rate. Like I've only lost money on like one position so far. I think I've done like 40 of them. So it's been really good. It's just lower return on investment. It's a bit more passive. A lot of people do it like they do a position for like a month or two out and then they don't manage it. Um, but if the stock goes the correct way, I can basically close the position earlier and get a higher ROI. So I've been more actively managing it.
Let's wrap back around to the real estate stuff for a second, because I am curious. You made $9,000, so why did you think it was not worth it to keep doing it? Dude, that's the whole reason I haven't started real estate, by the way, is what you just said. Like the whole paperwork and all the legal stuff, I'm just like, that would be such a hassle. And you'd have to have somebody take care of it if you're the type of person that doesn't like that stuff. But
Right.
you made a lot, though. So why do you think you couldn't see that scaling, or you couldn't? What was your like, okay, this is not going to work, or not for me?
Yeah. Probably kind of like how you were feeling with it. Especially like when I made the choice around like late April to not do it anymore. Amazon was making probably like 15 to 25,000 profit a month, and it was like streamlined and easy. And I'd been saving a lot, and so like if I have like $400,000 or $500,000 to spend 200 hours doing something that like has a high percentage of like paperwork and irritating stuff, and I hate talking on the phone, and just all this stuff for like maybe $6,000, maybe $12,000. Like I don't even think the hourly on that's super good. Like 9,000 divided by like I think it was around 200 hours that I spent on it. I also had that whole wire issue with it, so I was like, you are risking money, and if there's stupidity involved, like you could lose your investment money. Yeah, so basically, it didn't feel like good enough hourly to do something that I didn't like to do. You know.
Makes sense. That's usually what always happens. How did you go? Like, how did it feel like quitting it? Because I know, dude, I've quit so many things over the past like 2 years. I'm just like, I feel like such an idiot and like a failure when I do it, but it's just part of the game. But I want, how is your mentality going into that?
You feel bad about it. A little mental trick that I do for myself is I told myself that I was going to give it a 1 month break after I sold my property. And see how it feels after a month. And after a month out, I did not miss it and did not feel the need to do it. So that's how I'm quitting it.
Yeah, that's good. I'll have to take that into consideration in the future. What other business stuff? Like, if you thought about, options, not really like a business, I guess, per se, but have you thought about any other like business models that you're interested in? I think you watch the pod, right? So you probably listen to a lot of people on here.
Yeah. There's a lot of it. I mean, I think the current game plan is I'm gonna keep doing Walmart, gonna sell through the inventory that I have. VAs will run the Walmart store. I'm gonna try to be like straight up Steve Rakin on this and literally just like email me once a week about this and see how you guys do. I'll be here for coaching for Walmart. I'm a lot more excited about the option stuff, honestly. Because the thing about the option stuff is, like right now, I'm testing with a relatively small amount of money, but like both sides of it, the profit scales with the more money you put into it. So, like if it's something that actually works, um, like if I put $1,000 into a trade and make 60%, that's $600. But if I'm putting like 20,000 into a trade, like that that adds up real quick. I can't even do the mental math on that.
12K.
Should be able to. 12K. Yeah.
Yeah. Just the downsides are tough too. that's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the
You
worst
have to make sure there's an edge. Make sure there's a strategy. Make sure you've been doing it. Make sure you're emotionally able to handle when that position goes negative 10K uh, for a little bit. So it's something to work up to, but it's like talk about scalability. Like it's literally just percentages.
Yep. Basically, right. Yeah, from what I understand, though, a lot of those options things, how much like liquidity is in the this is gonna actually, I'm not even gonna ask this. This is so boring for people to listen to, probably, because I'm gonna ask
No,
some.
I mean that's true. It's not like infinitely scalable for sure, but like it's so much more scalable than Amazon. Like it's just much better. Like I can't go put like 10 million into a trade like right now. That's gonna like you're gonna get a bad fill price. You're just gonna sky the market as you do it.
Yeah, that's what more so I was gonna ask about. Okay, that's a better way to answer the question before I got into the
I
rabbit
know
hole.
where you're going with it. Yeah, you're right. It's not completely scalable for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're getting up to that, you'll be fine anyway. So,
Yeah.
We were actually talking about that before the podcast. Just kind of like all the different business models of what we could do. And I was like telling Drew, I was like, man, like I wanted something like I did Amazon, I did the books, I did the bulk books, and then did OA. And it's like now it's like kind of over basically. And I'm doing the influencer program. It's like I want to find something I could work like 5 to 10 years on that might be sellable, that's exciting. And it's like so hard to find that. Like we were talking before, and it was just like, this would be great, but I don't want to do like kind of with you with the real estate. It's like, yeah, this would be great. Like I just made 9 grand, but like I don't want to make phone calls. I don't want to make paperwork. Like the wires are kind of confusing. So it's always just hard to. I feel like a lot of people who are watching this are probably like, oh, like they're struggling, but like it's just hard to find something good that like you're
Yeah.
gonna care about. And I don't know many people that have almost found that thing for 5 years, unless you built a personal brand for 5 to 10 years, and that's I think the hardest part.
Yeah. What have your guys' ideas on that been? It sounds like both of you guys are kind of in that stage of like trying to find the next thing. But I know, John, you're pretty into like the content influencer program stuff.
For me, I'm really into the influencer program and the content, and I'm very bullish on it. And I do think like there'll always be a need for it, but I think it's going to be like Amazon as well, right? More people are going to come to it. It's easier money. The barrier to entry, there's no capital needed. You don't, I mean, you got to get on social media and kind of get it going to get approved. But then after that, I mean, it's pretty simple. And you're already seeing like all the people in FBA, all those coaches are now pushing people. So no one wants to learn how to sell on Amazon anymore. I mean, some people still do, but it's like, I'm starting to see a lot more too, which is definitely interesting. Is the trend? It's like I'm gonna do my own little challenge, and I'm gonna try to do X, Y, Z for a certain day, and then after 30 days, it's just like, oh my god, like I made $1,000. I don't even know what I'm doing, and then like they're selling what they just did for 30 days, and they're pretty experienced, knowing that the first 30 days is probably always the easiest, and like you're gonna start to hit those dangers and stuff like that. But for me, I just like, I don't know, like will the influencer program be here in 10 years? Maybe. But I don't know. It's just one of those hard things where it's just like, wow, I just know how much time and effort things take. And it's like, oh, if I could put that into something that could actually be sold one day or would make a lot of sense, I want to do that. I just don't know what that opportunity is.
I'm curious your guys' take on this. Not to be a downer, but like with like the onset of like all this AI and how fast things are moving these days, like to what degree is it even like pretty doable to be doing the same thing for 10 years at this point?
Dude,
Um,
I think that the kicker is you build a brand or you build a personal brand or you're just kind of wasting time in the middle. Like I really think there's something to that. Somebody talked to me for like 2.5 hours, 3 hours. They were like, "What should I do? Should I do this? Should I do this?" And it was like all these like little opportunities. And I was like, "Dude, the thing is, these things go so fast. Like we've already watched this happen with Amazon. Even if it was like, let's just say the suspension, all that stuff didn't exist, just the margins of this stuff is just are way lower. Maybe not for somebody like you with like a super carved out niche, but like just across the board, there's just more skill in the market. It's just gotten harder. It's only going to get harder with AI and that type of stuff. So you have to do something that like massively differentiates yourself from everything. Now I think it's like starting a brand where you're selling energy drinks or something, whatever, for example, that aren't going to go out of style in 10 years, that they're always kind of going to be around. Or you start a personal brand and you just yap for years and eventually people start listening to you yap and you sell them stuff. And I hate that because I like don't want to really do that. But I think the more I look into stuff, it's like who's making the most money? It's those guys. Every time it's those guys. You either own a brand or you are the brand. I don't know what else is making people millions of dollars.
it does seem like
If you could just take 2 seconds and subscribe to this YouTube channel, we would greatly appreciate it. We're trying to get to 5K subscribers by the end of the year, and the more subscribers we have, the better guests we can get for you. So you literally just take 2 seconds right now, hit subscribe. It will also let you know when new episodes go live and everything we're up to. Thank you so much.
that speaks to something that seems to be happening of like back 30 years ago, you could own a nice store in a suburb of Arkansas and like make a nice living like in a brick and mortar store. But like these days, like you need to be the extreme, very good seller of something, or else you're gonna kind of get carved out. Um, so it does seem like there's still opportunities. Like we're talking a little bit like negative on it all, but like I think there's still lots of opportunity to make like another like 2K a month with something, or like if you go full time with something, like I think a lot of these opportunities you can still make like 100K a year or whatever if you like put some time into it and then have skills to pivot to something else and keep riding that. But to like really, really, really do well and keep doing the same thing for a long time, I think that's the biggest thing. Um, Doing the same thing for a long time, that's tough. I mean, that has been a thing for a long time though. 90% of businesses fail within 5 years. Um, but some of those aren't failures. They ran profitably for several years and then they moved on to something else. So,
Yeah, I think it's always been like this. It's just things move way faster now. Like
Mhm.
within 6 months, a year, way more participants are in the market, and it's just a little different. And you have platforms popping up. You have platforms going down with engagement, changing their algorithms, all these things. It just makes it a lot more difficult. And I hate to think negatively about it too. You can definitely make a lot of money doing this stuff. I just think that like if you want to do something like John said for 5, 10 years, what are your options besides you being the product or you selling some kind of like evergreen product? And I don't know, like I don't see a bunch of stuff that I'm like, well, it was here 3 years ago, it's like thriving just as much now. We don't really ever see that anymore.
Mhm.
yeah, unless there's brands. I mean, brands
Yeah,
are certainly doing that.
yeah, definitely.
What are your thoughts about like conclusions on this?
So
John.
for me, I think for me, like if I've learned anything probably through this path, it's like I guess you just have to be willing to pivot. And like that's just the natural progression of entrepreneurship and business. And yeah, the more you were talking, kind of like, yeah, like to do something for 5 or 10 years, is definitely like really hard. And I think unless you're gonna do like kind of like that HVAC company, or like you build like a landscaping or stuff like that, that's like people need. Like I think you either have to be in something that like someone needs, like someone's gonna need their grass mowed, right? And a bunch of people aren't gonna do it. So like you're serving a need. So I think there'll always be something like that. And then it's just like on the flip side, it's like, well, I don't want a landscaping company. Like I don't want to have to do that. So I think it's gonna be more. I mean, who knows? Maybe this podcast will like take off eventually, and that will be like our thing. But I think just to build, I think personal brand. If I learned anything from the whole Amazon journey and like even now the influencer program, it's like probably the best thing I did was start the Instagram and YouTube, because I figured out like how to build an audience, and like that will always be valuable to someone. Like I could literally go to a company and be like, hey, I built a YouTube channel. Hey, like I was able to build this social media. I could help you do that. Whereas I don't really have like any skills. Like if you listed all the skills that you did to run Amazon, like I don't really think I'm getting hired based on that. But for the stuff I'm building, like this podcast or stuff like that, I think it is. So I'm leaning more towards like personal brand. I think it's just really hard, to be honest. It's like if you don't have something to sell, it's really hard to make content,
I
because the
think
amount you have to do and the amount of work that goes into it. I know everyone likes to say, "Oh, I like to help people," but like behind that, like they're selling something. So it's
right.
really hard when you don't have that direction to actually make content.
I think the skills of running an Amazon business, like you could get like a really boring job helping a brand like manage their Amazon or e-commerce presence or something like that, or like their online marketing or something. It's just like not a job that I would want to do. And maybe it wouldn't even translate. I'm not sure, but you would think that like someone who's been actually selling stuff for years would be comfortable enough to at least get like a decent something in that space. But um, the marketing and like content creator side seems a lot stronger.
Yeah, the marketing stuff is like hard to learn. Like you would think that you would know a little bit about it, but I did that last year a lot, and it's just like, man, I know so little from what, and everything you think you know, it's usually like the opposite of what's really works and things like that. That's where it's like even more difficult because the Amazon you don't do marketing. You know, they do your
Yeah.
marketing. That's the benefit of the platform. So you could manage their inventory and brand and stuff, but it's like, how would you even know? You can't get it ranked unless you do private label. You know, it's not like you know how to put keywords in on Amazon. You just kind of buy the best brands, buy the best keeper.
Yeah.
That makes it difficult too. Um, anyways, back to it. One thing on that whole, what we were just talking about, I think the most important thing is you enjoying what you're doing too. I know that's like super cliche, but I look through all this stuff and I'm like, man, I've got to be able to do something to where I can do it every single hour of the day and not care and be excited to do it. That's how the crypto was for a long time. That's how Amazon was for a long time. I've noticed every time I really love something that I just wake up and can't wait to do it, that I can keep it going. I can be successful. When it's not, that friction is just usually too much friction. Like some people can get over it. Maybe you're just a super hard worker. You have certain skills that allows you to bypass the friction. But overall, man, it just makes it really tough, I think.
Yeah. I think it's a really good stage for people to get over the I need to make money to live. Like if they could just lower their expenses to the point where they could just drive Uber and be fine, and then from there like find something that they actually enjoy that makes some money. Because then you'll find the thing that like it's 9 p.m. and you're having a bowl of ice cream and you're like researching stocks or like you're doing your crypto or doing your influencer program. And you'll have the ability to like really stick with it and actually get good at it, if you are like that. But if it's like, oh gosh, I have to get another phone call, like, oh, they're making me fill out paperwork for the Ohio State real estate blah 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 thing, like I'm just going to be really mediocre at it, and like these changes will catch up to you and you're gonna not be competitive.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And I love doing the influencer program. Like it's fun. I love getting products. I love making videos. So I'm not complaining about it at all. And I do think in a way it is a skill to like learn how to make content. So that is definitely transferable. over, and I do see, like, God forbid, like I had to get a job or something. There's definitely jobs where like you hire creators, or you could go to a brand and be like, hey, you should do influencer marketing, and you could like kind of guide them through that. So I do think that's like a good path too. But yeah, I think you're right. If you don't really like it, and I kind of found that with Amazon, I never really liked doing OA. Like I grinded through it, but like I was never excited about it. When I was
Yeah.
doing books, I was really excited about that. It's like, what's going to be in the Gaylord today? Like scanning them, like how fast can we scan them? Like, wow, we found like this, $500 book that we could sell on eBay. Like it was always something different. OA, you just like set up the computer, orders are getting it's just boring and it's just not fun. And I was like thinking the other day, and I was like, damn, like I probably should have stuck with books, because I would have there's just so many ways to monetize them. I had like the perfect warehouse. I probably would have opened like a mini bookstore or figured out other ways to monetize them. Like, I think the 1 year I did almost like 100 grand on eBay. And it was just like insane. Like those were books that like would just get recycled. And then I had Amazon on top of that. So I feel like you always think the grass is greener in all these models. Like I remember just watching like people like, oh man, they're doing 100K. I'm only doing 40K. But little did I know I was making like maybe twice as much as them. So my margins were so great on the books versus OA. But I was more concerned with like looking good on Instagram that I'm doing like 100K, and like kind of got into it for that reason. Not necessarily that, but it just seemed like you could make so much more money doing OA, and it kind of like wasn't the case.
There is something to the business models that are just like really high ROI, and it's like really don't need to do that big of sales. Like just do some sales, keep your 35% ROI, and like enjoy your life. Like enjoy finding those $500 books or whatever it is that's enjoyable to you.
Yep. I wanted to mention this. I don't know if I've talked to John about it before, but I'm curious your thoughts. I've been thinking about like what can I do in the future,
Yeah.
and this isn't super selfish. So other people, hopefully, this can apply to you too. But I'm thinking about like what assets do I have? Okay, I have some cash. That's an asset. I have my social media following to an extent. I'm not very active on there, and then I have all my Amazon sales, which are kind of negligible unless I wanted to sell Amazon coaching. But I also have my Amazon coaching testimonials and like my history of doing fairly well with Amazon coaching. So I thought like, where can I take that? And it's a bit difficult to see, you know, where do you go from there? But I'm thinking, do I coach other coaches in this reselling niche? Because I feel like a lot of times on this pod, we have people that afterwards, they're like, well, I'm thinking about doing this. And I'm just like, do not do that. And I try to give them a plan. I just wonder if there'd be enough demand for that of all these resellers on any platform, really, of just teaching how to sell their coaching program, or maybe they want a community or whatever it is. Do you think there would be a demand for that?
Specifically in the reselling niche.
Yeah, Amazon, Walmart, eBay. I could really anything I can talk about. I can write the copy for it. I can tell them, how to position their offer and what offer to create.
Maybe. It does seem like the reselling like content, like it's kind of it. I don't know which way to take it because on one hand, the it seems like the demand for like getting on these platforms and selling and reselling being this big thing is shrinking. But then on the other hand, like if content creators are having problems signing people on and like with their offers, they might be more open to needing coaching or like getting coaching. So it's also, I don't think I'm the right person to ask because I've never been like I think I feel the same way about like running my social media as John does about OA. Like it's just been not enjoyable. Besides like talking to people, it's been not my favorite. So I don't think
Yeah,
I'm the right person to ask.
same here. What do you think about that, though, John?
I definitely think you could definitely probably do that. I feel like I know how to set up, like, I think a lot of people would struggle with kind of setting up the back end stuff, like making the landing pages, like getting email funnels and doing the copy for that stuff, which I think you'd be good at. Yeah, like, I don't know. I think it would be hard to, I guess, would you be like, I guess in the background, because I guess you're just like teaching them how to do this?
I don't know.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
would you try to partner with somebody? You know, if I get some info guy to 50 grand a month, 80 grand a month, and I take 30% or something, that adds up pretty quick for me not doing any fulfillment other than fulfilling for the guy. Or do you run it as a coaching program where you sell it for like 5K or whatever, and then you can get clients that way, but you're more, I guess, hands on with the satisfaction of fulfillment rather than just like a setup and be like, hey, you have to take it from here. I'm not going to do your sales team and things like that, but I'll help your marketing. But it's just in my mind because I'm like, I know how they talk to these people and I've done it a lot, but is there a demand? Like, is there, I'm not on social media much anymore like that. So I don't even know if there's a lot of Amazon sellers that are trying to be coaches. I'm sure there is. That never goes away, but I wonder how the demand is for it.
Well, you guys were talking about one person before I got on.
Yeah. I mean, I could help somebody like that for sure. I could definitely make him an extra $25,000, $50,000 a month.
I think the thing is like even like I think some of those people like they have like they partnered with like an editor team or like a sales copy team or something like that. Like that is a thing like that people are doing, and that's where all our DMs come from. Like, would you like to turn your page into 100K sales a month?
I get
Like,
like 5 of those every morning.
and it's like why is it always a 17-year-old from like Lithuania or something? Like,
They sign up for programs, man. They're in groups that tell them that's the hardest part of that model, that agency marketer style model
yeah,
is getting the client. But
yeah,
that's where I'm like, okay, well, that's the only asset I have is I know the people that can be my clients. I don't have to cold DM some dude. I
true.
just message him and end up in his general where he's messaged me before and say, hey, are you struggling with this? That's the biggest reason I want to do it. So I'm like, the highest friction point of that process is landing clients and doing cold outreach. And I really don't have to do that.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
mean, you
piece.
know enough people that like maybe it would take like starting conversations with like 20 people, but like you probably get some people who would want help with that.
I
Yeah.
do think, yeah, I think if you approach it that way, where you're just like, hey, like I signed up for your whatever, or I see what you're doing, like you should totally offer this. Or I think for you, you'd be like, yeah, you're not charging enough for this. Like we were literally talking before this podcast. He's like, you should totally do this, and like you should charge that, and you should offer this, and this is what you should do. And like I was totally thinking like the dumbest way, like, oh, I'm gonna offer like this thing. And to be clear, I don't know if I'm offering anything. But he's like, no, don't do that. Like that's the dumbest shit ever. And then I was like, man, I'd be excited with what you were saying. Because I'm like, oh, I'm not excited about doing this. He's like, yeah, because that's the stupid way to do it. Like if you did it this way, and I was like, huh, like okay, like I like where you're going with that. Like I would put in the effort to do that. So I do think there is definitely a market for that. I think where you would like run into the issue, obviously you'd have to like pick the right person. Is just like the people who already have big coaching things, like already have those big coaching things. You literally have to take someone that probably has zero following and kind of like make them charismatic, like help them with
Yeah, I
like,
wouldn't
I
do
guess like you're running and I think you would hate that, just knowing
that.
what I know about you.
Yeah, I
um
would.
so like there's that. I mean, I guess you could run like cold traffic, but like you still need like the VSL of them like hyping it up like what a great idea it is. And I also think you run the risk of like, not risk, but we all, well, you've done coaching, Seth, but it's like, when you start coaching, your business goes to shit. Like you're like, oh yeah, I could do both. Like I kind of have this outsourced, but then it's like, well, now you have to start giving away some of your secrets. Like you don't want to give certain things away, so Drew's like, hey, like we need to give this away. You're like, oh, I can't really do that. So I think there's like lots of friction there. Um, yeah, it's just definitely interesting. I would love to know if I could see numbers. No one is going to share, but like on some of the bigger coaches in the FBA space, like what did their numbers look like in like let's say 2021 and today? Like the people who sell the same shit over and over again. Like, is it going up? Is it going down? Or do you have to do more advertising? Like, it would just be super interesting. Like, we'll never know. My guess is it's getting harder and harder. Hence why you're seeing like all these partnerships and pushing other shit. I don't know though. Like, I just feel like the sentiment on Twitter, which probably isn't like a great vein to go after. Everyone's like, "Oh, like bring Amazon Twitter back. Like, why is it so negative?" And it's like, one, I don't know why anyone wants Amazon Twitter back. It was just basically people like shitting on each other and giving away leads and like shit tanking. Like, I don't know why people want that back. But yeah, I just think it's getting harder and harder. And like you were saying earlier, it's like the failure to like acknowledge that is just sad to me.
I think there's a level of business model arbitrage that you have to do of like if you got in on Amazon in like 2014, 2015, like, and then also if you were selling shovels at that point, and then also if you were selling shovels to the people who were selling shovels, uh, like,
Yeah.
I think there is a level of like, if you could find a business model that's in that type of phase so that you do have like 5-10 years of growth or like at least 5-10 years of like peak and then decline where it's still profitable, um, that would be something that like makes a lot more sense than like trying to sell shovels to the shovel sellers of a business model that like will randomly gate a product that you have $10,000 worth of and like you're just can't even do FBA anymore because like you're gonna get charged $4 a unit for removal fees. Um, that's my perspective on it. Like I think the shovel selling is always going to be so profitable, and people really want to make money, and like those people need help too. The shovel sellers for sure.
I like the way you put that, like this arbitrage of like in what stage of the market is the biggest pain point. And like right now, the Amazon people like the if you haven't started Amazon yet, to start Amazon, that's probably the least friction it's ever been because there's unlimited content. It's like the gating's an issue and stuff, but like, dude, there's so much software and videos. But how much stuff is there out there for someone that's an Amazon shovel seller to like to do this? I don't know. And then but you can extract that to any model. You know, like where is the friction? Where's the money to be made? And I guarantee there's more people making info from Amazon than like the average OA seller. The guarantee, I bet the profit is way higher on that end.
Oh,
so it's
sure.
like, is that where you want to get in on it or not? I don't know.
Can you rephrase that? What do you mean?
Like the end or the whole thing?
The end of it. Like there's more people making content than OA sellers.
Yeah, well, no, I don't think there's more people making content. I just think there's more people. The distribution of profit. If you look at it like a bell curve or whatever, I bet there's way more people on the end of that bell curve that are doing the content coaching thing than there are the like straight up OA sellers. Because like, what's the cap on like an OA seller? Like we know some guys making like 30, 50, 80 grand a month, but not many. But you know a lot of info guys doing that. I just met some info guy the other day that's making 50 grand a month off Instagram, not running ads, and he doesn't even sell on Amazon. And he sells Amazon coaching. And he was making $50,000 a month, which is probably straight profit. So it's like there is money there because there's more people trying to enter the model, even though people are not saying this. There's always more people trying to enter than there is like, leaving. So I don't know. That's where my thought is. It's like maybe this is the time where, and Amazon sellers, for example, maybe this is the time too where Amazon sellers are less profitable. So now they're like, okay, now I'm going to try to be a coach because I know there's more profit to be made there than there is on the. That's more so better explanation of what I was saying.
I think we're seeing a lot of that for sure.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because it's so poorly executed and sloppy, in my opinion, compared to some other stuff that I've seen. And it's just like, all right, like you're just really trying to milk this out. And it's just kind of like, all right, if that's what you want to do. I do see that a lot. And I do think, I mean, who knows? Maybe you have the opposite business, like, oh, you're coaching down. I could get it back up. But then you got to be that guy to do like the opposite marketing. I don't know if you want to do that.
Yeah, it's difficult. And it's just an idea.
You'd be like the shovel seller hype guy.
Yeah. Like, hey, you can sell more shovels than you think. That's, I mean, I don't know. That's kind of where my head's at because I'm just not I don't know what else I would do. Like what would you do? Let's say you can't do the opposite. Let's say you have to start a business, Seth. What would you do?
I have to like start like a legit.
Yes. Like an Amazon, like you don't have to do Amazon, but like something like you already have, but you have to just do it. It cannot be Amazon directly related.
I mean, like if you want to think about skills that I've developed, like I have this skill of reselling. So reselling, if I mean, if I had to like continue reselling, I would, and I'm gonna continue reselling. But like, if I was trying to take it really serious and make as much money as possible, blah 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 blah. Like number one, getting the account back would be good. um, but I mean, there's like several people have like it's like it's able to make another Amazon account. Like I can make another Amazon account. I could probably buy an Amazon account that has some of the ungates that would be nice to have, and literally just do the same business model. So that's a possibility. I could do a similar business model to Walmart, as long as there's like I put effort into it and try. Like I think I could do that, and that would be like pretty good. I mean, um, it still seems like it's not like peaked like Amazon has as terms of like third party sellers. Um, so I mean, there's still opportunity there. Um, there's easier eBay listing now, so that could actually be interesting if you could find a good supply of profitable items that you could sell on eBay. Um, you could
I
list
mean,
them
out of reselling. What about that?
out of reselling. I'm just like not. I just really like. I feel like I've spent a lot of time thinking about reselling. I mean, there's lots of service based businesses that you could do, and like if you could set all that up, um, like there's even like even running something like a counseling practice or something where like you get like $150 per client, and you like bill the insurance and you pay the therapist like half or whatever per client, and you just keep the rest and you run everything and deal with like legal issues. Like that sounds boring, but I mean that would work. um, there's probably lots of different ways to do something like that. I don't know what would I do though. I'm just like I've spent so much time reselling, and then if not reselling, my thought process has been for a long time. If I can make money from reselling and then invest, then investing is a thing. So I'm just not super interested in starting another business. I don't think.
Yeah, that's fair. And it's hard to get once you're a reseller for that long. It's difficult. It's difficult to think of like what else even would I do. You know, I've been doing it for so long, so I understand where you're coming from there.
What do you guys think, John?
I'm trying to think what I would do. I mean, I feel like launching a product, obviously, that would make sense. Um, I think copywriting is. I don't know though with like ChatGPT and stuff like that. That's gonna be like a hard way to go about it. I'd probably. I don't know if I'd want like a brick or mortar store or something. I'd almost try to look to find like a business that, or like in an area, like for me, I really am into like the brewery space. I like trying new beer. Like I would love to like partner with a brewery and be like a partner and offer them something they don't have already. Like whether that's marketing or like if I went to my local brewery and I was like, "Hey, your marketing sucks. You don't do any marketing. Take me on, like give me X percentage or give me X percentage of the upside we generate. I'll take care of all your marketing. This way I kind of have some control. I like the product. I think I would try to more look at it like that. They try to partner with an already established business that I like and could get on board with, but I don't have to build a brewery from the ground up and brew the beer, and because like I don't care about that part. Like I like what they're doing now and I would like to see them grow more, and it's like if I could be a part of that, I would love the upside of that.
You sound like Grant Cardone. He does a lot of that, or like at least on like some of I've watched some of his like he did like billionaire from scratch whatever
Oh
series.
yeah, that was pretty good.
That was kind of the take that he tried to take of like find a business, like do a skill for them, take part of the upside, and that's seems like kind of a bigger play. um Not that I've done any of that, but it's definitely interesting and probably would work if you pull it off right.
I think that, And then like I guess it's always hard like outside of reselling. I honestly think anyone can make so much money on Facebook Marketplace. Like it's insane. I just don't have the energy or that I don't know how much time I'd want to invest into that. Like just meeting the people, finding the stuff, listing the stuff. But like I do with the influencer program, and that's like super lucrative. Like I do pretty well like every month. And it's like, wow, like maybe I should take some of this and like almost do like the ultimate flip or something. Like find something like let's call it like 3 or 4 grand. Can I buy something for 3 or 4 grand and flip it for 7 or 8? And then repeat that process. But then it's like if I think about the stuff, like we're probably thinking like restaurant equipment, like stuff that would need storage and like it's not like I could put like an oven in my Jeep. Like just like there's like comes obstacles like that. But I think for the right person, like I know someone who does it on a really high level. They really literally pick up like junk on the curb, fix it up, and sell it for like 2 or 3 grand. Or they'll buy it for 2 and sell it for like 6. But they know how to like fix the stuff. Like it's just a whole thing. But I honestly think for anyone, like that is probably the most lucrative model. Is
Yeah, that's why
Facebook
I'm so
Marketplace.
like bullish on reselling still. Even like not like I'm not sure how much I'm gonna do, but like I think it's a very good way to make money, and like high ROI. Not like to make millions, but to make like to leave your job. It's a good way to do that, especially if you niche down into something. Just like it's a bit unstable, and you're gonna have to keep pivoting all the time, and you're not going to make like $1 million in a year from it whatsoever. Like you might make 100K, might make 200K maybe.
Yeah. I agree with that. Would you think what advice would you be to someone like starting today? Would you advise them to do Amazon or would you say
Yeah, it's
trade or what
weird.
would
I
you
feel
do?
like a year ago I was thinking it's still a decent time to get started with Amazon. I think starting something else would make a lot more sense. And it depends on what stage of life or what this person's even looking for out of whatever they're trying to do. Like, are you trying to make another like $500 a month? Like, okay, just go drive Uber, dude. Like, it's fine. Like, you have all Saturday. Um, like, you could sell furniture. Like, you can. There's a lot of like little things you can do. Um, are you trying to like go full time with something? It's tough. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways.
Yeah, I feel like maybe I don't know. I'm not like that old, so maybe I don't remember it before. But I feel like before, especially with Amazon, it was just like there. It wasn't a case by case basis of if it was good or not. It's just like you can make so much money doing this, no matter what your situation. You should do this because people are making 300 grand a year. Some people making 500 grand. Like it's easy to make 10 grand a month. I feel like when I first started, that was the sentiment. When it's now, and you see that across a lot of businesses of just it just depends on your situation. It's more of case by case. And I think it is just because these things have more downsides and some of them have less of a high upside. That type of thing now. Maybe it was always like that, but I remember there being like glory days when I started. And maybe that was just me falling for marketing, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like that's case in points of like the business model, like how good the business model has been and is right now, as opposed to the past. Like, yeah, it's interesting if you are looking at a new business model. Uh, like, pay attention to the promises that the gurus make about it, and like, what are like the norms of like what a good result is. Because like that, like you said, like that's changed over the last 10 years and 5 years and 3 years and even year. Um, if people are like, you can make a full-time income, like that's like the best case scenario. It's like it's gotten worse as a business model.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, how the marketing messages have changed, like, which I don't know the marketing message at the moment, but I know the standard used to be like 10K, 20K a month or whatever. I wonder if that's still the marketing message or not,
No.
because that's just like a complete lie most of the time. A lot of these models, not just Amazon, but like a lot of stuff, like you can make 10K in your first 3 months. It's like, I don't even see how that'd be possible. You don't even have enough brands to get ungated in. You'd have to like and they don't have time to learn the skills, and you can't even really get lucky as much as you used to be able to. You used to get lucky. Maybe you just found some product that was really good and you slung, 1,000 units and made a bunch of money. I don't know how often that people are finding that kind of stuff anymore.
And most of the people their first 3 months aren't willing to put down the capital to make that much anyways.
Yeah, which
like they're trying to like tiptoe in with like 1,000 or two. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like that's literally what I'm doing with options. Like I have a 3K portfolio for my options because I'm like, I haven't proven to myself that I'm responsible and profitable over the long term. So like if I lose my 3K, like I need to seriously reassess if this is a thing that I should really be doing. So I'm taking it very cautiously. And like because of that, I'm not gonna make 10K a month. Like right now. Like I'm not. It's not gonna happen.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the marketing has been way watered down from what I've seen. It's more like, oh, we could help you do this safely. Like, it's just definitely weird. It's like, where they're like, you could make a teacher's salary. Like, they're like kind of, they're doing, yeah, they're doing like all this mental gymnastics, like to try to prove the model. Where before it'd be like, yeah, you could make 10 grand in X amount of days, but now it's just like, well, like if you did that, like they're just trying to make it like, I'm trying to think, they're trying to dumb it down so much. It's just so unrealistic that someone knows what really goes into it. Like basically comparing like, oh, like it's so much better to run an Amazon business than, buy into a franchise. It's like, is that really true? Like, hypothetically, like, and they'd be like, well, not everyone has the money to buy a franchise, and that's their argument for why Amazon's a better business.
I bet it's still higher
It's like
ROI.
stupid. It's like not even like, yeah, like if you
Yeah.
could afford to buy let's just say a franchise that's doing well versus start an Amazon business, you'd buy the franchise.
Yeah, but I think I think what people are doing there, I mean, that's obviously just kind of an insane thing to say if somebody's saying that. So I'd say the thing is just like trying to relate it to something.
Yeah.
Because I think people like to have those comparisons. Because yeah, if like the same person wanting to buy a franchise and the person wanting to start Amazon are just two completely different people. And I know that because I coached somebody who started an Amazon business and then he just now got a franchise, and he could have just done the franchise the whole time. He didn't really need the Amazon part of it. What else you got? What you have anything else to talk about, Seth? You've been watching the pod, so any kind of like feedback or things that you've heard that you're like, I want to touch on that?
Shoot. I guess it's helpful. It's related to my situation. I think I watched what's his name, the reselling teacher.
Yeah.
I think I watched that either the day before I got suspended or the day after. I don't remember which. But that was helpful for me to like kind of like stomach of like, okay, like yes, Amazon is getting harder. Like understand that the business model, like I don't know if you guys like necessarily like said in that podcast that like uh the whole concept of like the business model being more and more saturated over like the last 10 years and then it kind of like peaking and not being as good anymore. But like that podcast like helped me like realize like, okay, like this just is not as good of an opportunity as it was before. Um, and helped me accept a little bit of the fact of like, okay, Amazon might not come back. I need to figure out what I'm going to do next. Because I could just sit here and stress for like the next 4 months until there's no possibility of me getting my account back. Like I really need to just find some direction. So that was helpful in that. Like I think I watched that like a month ago. At this point,
Yeah, it's like coming to realization of which I don't know. Maybe we're all just wrong. I don't know, but just coming to the realization that things are petering out. I guess that it's like, okay, well now what? Instead of me sulking for a long time, which I think a lot of people can get like that. I mean, I don't think I've got like that as much because I kind of proactively quit or whatever.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're like, man, I wish it was just like how it was, but it's just not like that anymore. Or you blame yourself when it's just like it's not exactly your fault or whatever.
Yeah, and it's interesting people's reactions when they talk to me about my suspension. like maybe let's say there's like 30 different messages that I've had with people, like because I talked about it on my YouTube channel and I've like been pretty open about it. Um, and probably like at least 2/3 of the people. Okay, so like overall, everyone was like honestly like really kind and like supportive and like, yeah, you're gonna do great with whatever you do type vibe. But still, like kind of the sentiment was like, oh my gosh, that's terrible, that you got your account suspended. Um, in most of the cases, most people weren't like, oh well, that might be a good thing that this is ended sooner, so you can move on to another thing sooner. That's better for you. Like, I think most people still like have the thought about it that like, okay, Amazon is still really this good opportunity. Like, it needs to go on forever. Um, and like, yeah, if you're in it and you're making like 20K profit a month, like you're not just going to stop doing that, I don't think, on your own. So it is a bit of a mixed bag with that, but yeah, like watching that podcast like was helpful for me to like kind of process it and be like, okay, I think Amazon, like it is becoming a worse business model. Like I don't need to like freak out as much about this as I was.
Yeah. I think a lot of times though you can't really believe it's like why me and John get like random hate and pushback and stuff from other people. I think sometimes it's like we talk about this, but like we don't care. Like we're just saying what we see. We don't like invested in this Amazon thing. It's just part of our background and part of our audience. So we talk about it a lot. And I try to be proactive because I want to stop people from getting like really hurt. You know, that would be nice. You know, if we could help one person from not like losing 50 grand or whatever. I think most people, it's like you're just so, I forget what it's called, but cognitive dissonance of like, well, this isn't happening because I'm doing good and it's like not a big deal and none of that's right. But it's like, that's not exactly how it works. You know, your situation could be different than that reality and you can get closer to that reality faster than you think. And that can really flip you upside down. And I think just being aware of that is probably better than not being aware. Maybe it makes you more pessimistic, but it'll help you not lose a bunch of money, I think.
Yeah,
Also,
or like at least if you're gonna do Amazon, like there are things that you can do to like lower like your risk and raise your reward. Like if you're still doing like FBM everything or FBA everything, that's just a riskier thing at this point because like if you do get suspended, like now you're gonna have a lot of problems getting your stuff back. Like that was a change that I made like 2.5 years ago. If you're still doing 20% ROI stuff, like I don't know what you're doing. Um, like unless it's like it's working for you, but like it's just like there's things that you can do to raise the risk versus reward. So like at least if you're seeing that um, the Amazon business model is changing, like you need to like make changes to make it a higher risk versus reward for you. Um, reward to risk ratio to at least make it worth your time.
I think a lot of people also like you don't realize they're just really good marketers. Like they
Yeah.
have an answer for everything. Because that's like their livelihood. Like they're banking on that. Like they're not banking on their Amazon sales to feed their family. Like they're banking on you buying their shit. So I think that's a big part of it too.
Yeah, people are good at that. Yeah, very good. I guess they are good at their job. And that's what they're supposed to do. So I'm not even really hating on it. It's just
Yeah.
being aware of all of it. Well, we're almost approaching that 1.5 hour mark. Is
Yeah.
there anything,
Good point.
any final words for the people?
No, just thanks for having me on, guys. It's always a pleasure talking to you guys. I'll be super curious to hear what you guys continue to transition into, and hopefully in 6 months I can prove that my options are profitable and I can put more money into it. And that would be great.
Yeah, best of luck. I'm sure you'll kill it.
Yeah,
you
you
seem
will.
like you focus very hard on that stuff. So I can see it.
We're all gonna kill it. All right.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
See ya. Guys, like, subscribe, go follow Seth, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Peace.
See ya.
If you enjoyed this episode, click here to watch more of our episodes, or click over here to watch another episode we did with Checkmate Flips. Thanks for watching, like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.